All right, so warm-up 105 is very similar to what we've been doing these past 2 days. By now, you guys should be experts at these. All right. So to get the show on the road, start with number 1. Graph f of x equals 1 over x. So what do we do for that one? Let's start with Caesar. What did you do? A table, x, f of x, and you said from what? Negative 2 to 2, bless you. And have you got that so far? Yes? All right, and what values do you get for f of x? All right, so far so good. And the graph for that, here's 1, here's negative 1, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2. So it should look something like this. Hands, have you got something like that? All right, not bad. Number 2, graph f of x equals x squared. So that's a parabola that looks like this. But we need to rewrite this one. Show your neighbor what you wrote for the rewriting of this one, please. Then Caesar's going to pass someone. What did you rewrite this one? G of x equals what? All right, good. Caesar, pass someone. Joseph, what'd you write? Very good. 1/2 f squared. All right, so basically the same, except for we have the invisible 1 plus that 2 makes it 1/2. Yes? You guys see it? Yes? That and that becomes the 1/2, and the rest is the same. So what does this do to the entire function? Tell your neighbor, and then Joseph's going to pass someone. What does that do to the entire function, being that it's a fraction? What does that do? Joseph, pass someone. Mario, what does that do to the entire function? What? The flip is the negative. This is a half. A what? What you say? Compressive, yes. So let's make it a little bit smaller right there. So it compresses it, and then we move it in which direction? Pass someone. I'm waiting for Enrique. Very good. To the left, and then down. That is correct. 4 to the left, and then down to negative 3. So that one is going to be somewhere over here, compressed. All right, pretty good. Next, show your neighbor what you wrote for these 3 right here for number 3. Then Enrique is going to pass someone. What you get for those 3? All right, Enrique, pass someone. 3A. Who? Mariah, what you get for 3A? Okay, so we put this over 1, and then we do the reciprocal to get rid of the negative. So it's 1 over A, and the negative exponent turns into a positive. All right. 3B, everyone. What is 5 to the 0? 1. And 3C, I'm going to go over 3C just by the looks of it. Some of you are still kind of like thinking about this one. So this is 1 to the negative 3 over x to the negative 3. Good morning, Ms. Q. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Distribute the exponent to both, so it's 1 to the negative 3, x to the negative 3. Since we can't have negative exponents, we do the reciprocal. So therefore, this becomes x to the third over 1 to the third, which is x to the third over 1, which is x to the third. How we doing? Good? All right. 4. X to the third times x to the fifth is x to the third plus 5, which is 8, which becomes something like this. So how do we rewrite this? So if this looks like this, what was it before it got there? Well, it was 2 to the x times 2 to the negative 3. Can we have a negative exponent? No, we would do the reciprocal. However, in the numerator, we have 2 to the x. The denominator, we have 2 to the positive 3. What is 2 to the positive 3? Well, this is 2 to the x over 8. Now, I'm giving you these baby steps before we get there because we're about to get into logarithms, guys, which is pre-calculus stuff. You need to know this stuff. So I'm giving you these. I'm breaking it down little by little with baby steps before we get there. You're like, pre-cal? Oh, yeah, we got this. And then we're going to get to the unit circle. Divide by 1, x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 4y minus 16 equal to 0. You get rid of the constant, which is add 16 to each side. We end up with x squared plus 8x, empty space, y squared minus 4y, empty space equals to 16. Complete the square. 8 over 2 squared. My goodness. Negative 4 over 2 squared. Good morning, Ms. Q. Okay, I'll send it over. Thank you. Caitlin. So negative 4 over 2 squared. Mr. Cruz. So we got x squared plus 8x plus 16 plus y squared minus 4y plus 4 equals to 16 plus 16 plus 4. That means this side, if we simplify, that's 32. And I'm going to might as well factor these. Square root of this, square root of this, sine of the middle, squared, square root of this, square root of this, sine of the middle, squared. So by looking at it, our center is negative 4, 2. And our radius, oh, did I make a mistake? Did anybody catch that? 36. Bah. Square root of 36 is 6. So that graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The center is at negative 4, 2. Radius is 6, so we go 6 to the right, 6 down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 that way, 6 that way, and the circle should be somewhere over there. All right? All right. Send me your notes, please. I want to see your warm-up, what you did, since you guys were taking copious notes. Very good. All right. Copy the agenda, please. Warm-up 105 is done. we're moving on to rational functions, but in parentheses I wrote simplifying rational expressions. I'm going to give you guys a revisit of that. We did that in semester 1. I want to make sure we got that before we move on. And tonight's home play, simplifying rationals, play sheet 1 through 14, evens only. Evens only. Copy that, please. All right. So, code to access the home play, here it is, CEGJR, CEGJR. Today's going to go pretty fast since we already know this. I'm just trying to retrieve it from your long-term memory since you did all the home play by yourself. You never copied from anyone. Very good. And you'll see how fast it goes. So keep up, please. Once again, your home play is Simplifying Rationals play sheet 1 through 14, evens only. Looks something like this. All right, get a Cornell note ready, please. I can simplify rational expressions. I can simplify rational expressions. I can simplify rational expressions. All right, so to get us started, once again, 6x over 3x plus 9. Let's start with just simplifying first. Let's do this one together. Y'all ready? Here it goes. Step 2 says factor. Factor completely. So let's look at the denominator. How do we write 6 as factors? Tell your neighbor. How do we write 6 as factors? What factors give me 6? Tell your neighbor, please. Factors that give us 6. They are, go with Elijah. Factors that give us 6. 2 and 3. 2 times 3 times x. There it is. Denominator. Factor. Can we factor both terms? Yes. What's GCF for both terms, everyone? 3. That leaves us with x plus 3. Step 2 is done. Let's go to the last step. Identify any giant ones. You guys see them? Yes, the 3s. That leaves us with 2x over x plus 3. This is simplified. Now, why can't I do this? Look up, guys. Why can't I do that? Talk to those in your neighbors, see if they remember. Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? Renzo, pass someone. Joseph, why can't I? Yeah, he said because the bottom one has an addition sign. We can only do it when there's multiplication only. All right. So far, so good. I want you to write EV, or excluded value. What does it say? Write the denominator equal to 0 and solve. So what's the denominator? X plus 3 equal to 0. Let's solve. Minus 3 minus 3. X equals negative 3. So my excluded value is negative 3. Why is it excluded, Mr. Q? Because if I substitute negative 3 here, what is negative 3 plus 3? 0. Can we have a 0 in the denominator? No. All right? Send me your notes. Hold on. All right. Number 1Q. Copy this one. 2x over 2x plus 6. Do that one by yourself. I want you to first simplify it, and then afterwards find me the excluded values, and then I'm going to send you the screen so you can send me your work. Very similar to the one we just did. So, example 1 super Q on your screen, and it reads x squared over x squared minus 5x. Once again, let's simplify first. How can I write x squared in factored form? Tell your neighbor, how can we write x squared in factored form? X squared in factored form, Maideen. X times X is correct. How about the denominator? What would be GCF for the denominator? Pass them one, Maideen. Rebecca, GCF? X, that is correct. We're left with X minus 5. So step 2 done. Giant 1. And we're left with X over X minus 5. Hands if you got that by yourself. All right, next, excluded value. We got what? X minus 5 equal to 0, plus 5 plus 5, X equals 5. That's our excluded value. All right, send me your notes, please. Hold on. I'm sending you. All right, problem 1, mega Q. Do that by yourself, please. 2m over x squared plus 7x. Example 1 super duper Q. 6x squared minus 6x over 3x minus 3. Again, let's start with factoring top and bottom first. All right, the top. What can we factor out, guys? Tell your neighbor, what can we factor out of each term? Rebecca, pass them one. Rachel, what can we factor out of each term? 6x, and we're left with x minus 1. However, look up, guys. Can we factor the 6 anymore? Yeah, tell your neighbor what to write instead of 6. What do we write instead of 6? Pass someone, Rachel. Gabriel, what do we write instead of 6? What is it? 3 times 2, okay, or 2 times 3. There it is. Factors for the denominator, GCF. Pass someone, Gabriel. Sebastian? 3, and we're left with x minus 1. All right, identify the giant 1, the 3's. What else? X minus 1, and that leaves us with 2x. Since there's nothing underneath, I put a 1, or in other words, 2x. All right. Are we doing? Excluded values. Instead of using the answer, I'm going to use the original. We get 3x minus 3 equal to 0, plus 3 plus 3. 3x equals to 3. Divide by 3. X equals 1, so my excluded value is 1. All right, do this one by yourself. Example 1, Shazam Q, 8x squared plus 16x over 4x plus 8. Once again, simplify first. Start with factoring, simplify, and then from there find me the excluded values, and I'll send you the screen so you can send me your notes. Go. Example 1, Star Wars Q, we got x squared minus 4 and x squared plus 3x plus 2. I'm going to start with the factoring portion first. You're like, there's no GCF on the numerator, Mr. Q. I know, but it's a binomial and it's a negative there. It's a quadratic. Remind your neighbor what to do to factor that one. We should end up with 2 factors. Remind your neighbor, what do we do? What do we do? All right, what do we do? Mario. What is it? X. X and X by doing the square root of that one, and then? Negative 2 and? Yeah, by taking the square root of that one. Yeah, when it's a negative of the binomial, one negative, one positive. All right. How do we factor this one? Remind your neighbor. Enrique, how do we factor this one? Huh? 2 and 3. Factor the 2 that add up to 3, everyone. 2 and 1. Therefore, x plus 2, x plus 1, giant 1, and we're left with x minus 2 over x plus 1. Excluded values. We got x squared plus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. Tell your neighbor what to do from there to make sure that you understand how to solve those. Then giving you practice on the warm-ups for that one. How do we solve that? What do we do next, Elijah, to solve that? Huh? Factor, yes. So 2, 3, that's 1 and 2, or x plus 1, x plus 2, equal to 0. Set each one equal to 0. Minus 1, x equals negative 1. Minus 2, x equals negative 2. So my excluded values are negative 1 and negative 2. All right, send me your notes, please. Example 1, Michael Jordan Q, x squared minus 3x minus 4 over x squared minus 4. Start by factoring each, top and bottom, find the giant 1, simplify, and then from there find the excluded values. I'll send you the screen so you can send me your notes after you check with your neighbor. Go. All right, here goes one from one of your colleagues. Check your work. Refresh your browser. There you go. And if you notice, for the EV, they use square root method to solve for that x squared. Can I see that? Yes? All right. So, from 1 to 5, I'll come to borrow you with these 5s, right? Did it come back pretty quick? Yes? All right. So let me send you the home plea for tonight to your screen so you can get started with that. There it is. Those of you that are following on YouTube, get some practice in. We're only doing evens, but if you want to do more, it's up to you. See you guys next time. Peace.